And welcome to the Pinellas County Tourist Development Council for February 21st. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And I don't have any opening comments or anything like that, so I would look to approve the minutes. Do we need a roll call? Roll call, do we do that like you? Or last time I just had everyone do introductions, so we didn't really do a roll call. Does staff do roll call, Brian? Okay, if we'd like to go around and introduce ourselves, if that's how we do roll call, that's perfect. So if we want to start down with Trish.
Sure. Hi, Trisha Rodriguez with the Travel Expo Tours and the Clearwater Ferry. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dave Gaddis, Mayor of Bel Air Beach and delegate to the Big C.
Good morning, everyone. Mike Williams, Innisbrook.
Good morning, Copley Gertis, City of St. Petersburg, City Council.
Good morning, Amanda Coffey, County Attorney.
Kathleen Peters, Pinellas County.
Brian Loack, President CEO, Visit St. Pete Clearwater.
Russ Kimball, Sheraton Sankey, Clearwater Beach.
Brian Unk Sr., Mayor of City of Clearwater.
Doreen Moore, TRS Travel Resort Services Vacation Rentals.
Good morning, Chuck Prather, the Birchwood, St. Petersburg.
Good morning, Clyde Smith, Billmar Beach Resort and Treasure Island.
Great, thank you. So again, I would, the minutes have been provided. If there's any questions or comments or changes, then I would.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. So we do have one public comment, and that's for Ray Hess. If Ray would like to step up to podium, you've got 3 minutes. The one to the right. My right, your left, I guess. Yes. Thank you. And you.
Hi, how's it going, everybody? So many places that I'm familiar with. Sheraton Sankey. I think been to your hot tub once or twice. Yeah, probably actually. I have been doing this like surfing website thing that I have for 10 plus years now, 10 years. I think 2014 is when it kind of officially has the record back. You can kind of go on there. My website's surfingthegulf.com, and I've been doing it for 10 years, and I really love doing it. It's a lot of fun. It gives me the opportunity to play in our community and enjoy a lot of the fun things that we have to do. And I guess what it is I write things about our community, and I get to like take a lot of pictures of things in our community and create videos and just kind of learn about what we have. And I guess I was hoping that by coming into here today that I'd be able to find a way to work with this community and this board and kind of maybe find some direction and some purpose, so that the things that I post and create that go onto the website that actually is really unique ends up being the kind of stuff that I would like to be putting on there, and hopefully the stuff that you guys would like to be putting on there. And it's something that, I probably will continue to do because, I just love being here and love doing the things that we have to do here. And I guess I had asked somebody at the beginning about if there was an application for funding or anything, and I don't know how I would reach out to you guys about potential funding, but I guess maybe I'll just look on the website or something. But I'd really love to be able to work with some of the people in our community, and it's what I have going on is it's so much to do. There's so many facets to it, and the ability of me to do it by myself is a little bit beyond what I feel like I'm capable of, and I guess I'm looking to you guys to maybe help out with that. And I don't know if there's a way to do that. I don't know if there's any kind of feedback that I'd be receiving here, or that's pretty much.
So typically, public comment isn't discussion, it's
Okay.
just you
Yeah,
making your
I don't know
comment.
what it is. I didn't-
But what we could do is have a staff member contact you. We have your email.
Okay.
So we could have a staff member contact you to find out a little more about what you're doing and then maybe help you get some direction on avenues that might get you some help.
Yeah, oh, and I guess the last time I was here, I did speak to someone and they, I think someone with like, I think I was given somebody's card and said, oh, reach out to this person or something, and I never heard anything back, and I don't know if that's,
We'll make sure somebody reaches out to you.
okay.
Okay? Thank you for coming. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks
it.
for having me. All right, you guys have a good one.
Okay, so I'm going to go straight on to presentations, and we have the capital funding presentation with Kylie Diaz.
Good morning. My name is Kylie Ferguson Diaz. I am the Vice President of Community Engagement at Visit St. Pete Clearwater. On behalf of Visit St. Pete Clearwater, I am here with you today to announce the launch of the 2024 Capital Projects Funding Program. I would like to thank Managing Assistant County Attorney Amanda Coffey and Vice President of Finance and Administration Terry Tuxhorn at Visit St. Pete Clearwater for their support in the preparation of this process. In addition, I would like to thank our visitors to Pinellas County. Totaling more than $15.8 million, it is the 6% bed tax our visitors pay on overnight accommodations that make these projects possible. These funds serve in the betterment of our communities, for people planning a vacation and a beautiful place to live, work, and play for our residents. I would like to play a video that shows some of our capital projects funding. Pardon me. I don't see the video in the presentation. Okay, so we're just going to move forward to the timeline. So the application launch is February 21st. So today, February 21st, online and on our website, you will see the application go live. Next Thursday at our public information meeting, next Wednesday, February 28th, between 2 and 4, is our public information meeting where you can come and find more information on the process. Directly following the public information meeting, we can start accepting applications, and the application close is on May 31st at 5:00 p.m. From there, we will have an internal review with Visit St. Pete Clearwater staff, the county attorney, and our third party. Between June 1st and August 31st, we will be reviewing those applications. The TDC review will be September 18th, and the BCC review is slated to be October 15th. Please note that these dates are all subject to change, depending on the popularity of the process. Some quick facts is you can please visit partners at visitstpeteclearwater.com. From there, if you go to the resources page under capital funding, you will find all the resources associated with this program. There you will find our updated guidelines. Just a reminder to the TDC and everyone here that the guidelines were updated last year, and we updated it in the area of funding standards, evaluation, and rating criteria. You can also please visit the partner site for a detailed list of these guideline changes. In addition, another big change this year is we have brought the application online. It is now electronic. So we have updated that to be electronic. However, if you do have any accessibility needs, you can request a paper application from us and we will provide that to you. Again, if there are any questions to the public or anyone watching online today, please attend that public information meeting. It is at the Pinellas Realtor Association next Wednesday, February 28th from 2 to 4. So does anyone have any questions here today? And again, thank you to our visitors to Pinellas County, and thank you to everyone that's helped in the process.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm sorry the video didn't work. Next is Destination Metrics by Eddie Kirsch.
Good morning, and thank you, guys. And I do want to say just a quick note. Next month, we'll have tourism economics at this meeting to present some new data, the way that we're sort of seeing our data in our new dashboard, which is called Symphony. So looking forward to the meeting next month. For this month, what we're seeing is hopefully not a lot of surprises. Obviously, we didn't have, in terms of our December, as great of a December as we had the previous year. As we kind of look at where we have been in the past 5 years, it's within the line of the past couple of years. Compared to, obviously, the pandemic years, we're doing much better. And I think really even compared to 2019, we're still going pretty strong. But in terms of the overall state of the American traveler, what we kind of know about where we are from the domestic visitor, travel excitement ended last year on kind of a 12-month low, but still above 2022. And almost 9 out of 10 American travelers do plan on taking a leisure trip in the next 12 months. 80% of them already have those plans somewhat formulated. And on average, the American traveler has about 2 weeks or so available for leisure travel in their year. We did see the travel budget go up from the past 3 months to just over $4,500, and we're still seeing Florida as a top travel destination in the United States, second behind New York, which kind of makes sense as we started to see last year some of those urban trends kind of peak up with more of that urban demand. Again, this isn't the prettiest picture that we're looking at for December of last year. Our occupancy numbers are down quite a bit. Our rate isn't down quite as much. And if you look at the numbers below this month's, it's for the calendar year. So you can kind of see in terms of rate, we're still above where we were last year. But overall, the numbers are a little bit down in terms of demand, a little bit down in terms of, the revenue per available room and things like that. And then down below, again, you can kind of see these trend lines for these 5-year picture of what exactly is happening. And you see a lot of, the numbers kind of really starting to come together after the pandemic again. And on the right side, again, you sort of see our supply steadily ticking up. We did include a hotel pipeline for later in this presentation, so we have a little bit more information in terms of what that picture looks like moving forward. And again, from a short-term rental snapshot, it's kind of the same as what we're seeing from STR with obviously our occupancy down quite a bit, our ADR down slightly, not as much as occupancy. The length of stay is slightly down. So again, these are similar numbers to what we're seeing on the traditional lodging side as well. From our TDT collections, we have $18.1 million that we've collected for the first 3 months of this fiscal year. If you look at where our numbers are for December, we had about $6.2 million in collections for December 23. Last year, we had about 6.6, and in 2022, we had about 6.4. So, these numbers are close to each other. The years before that, they were much less. But again, obviously we would like to see these numbers grow year over year. When we're looking at where these collections are coming from, obviously a bulk of them are coming from Clearwater Beach. We also see St. Petersburg and St. Pete Beach as areas of the destination that pop up for us. Miscellaneous other is kind of a catch-all, but it is also where we see those short-term rentals. So it kind of gives us a little bit of a picture, at least, in terms of what that market looks like. So you can kind of overall see, what those tourism development tax dollars, what areas they were coming from. And then getting back to the hotel pipeline, we have about 3,400 rooms that are either proposed in their final planning stage or currently under construction. About 6 of those are under construction. I don't believe that that's changed since we've reported last on this, and about 7 of them are in their final planning. And about 13 of those projects are just in the proposed state. So you can kind of see when we're looking at what we're expecting, a lot of those to be completed in 2026. Well, obviously a lot of those are still sort of proposed projects. So, take that for what you will. When we're looking at what's currently under construction, again, there's 3 hotels in Clearwater. one in Dunedin, one in St. Petersburg, and one in Tarpon Springs. We have, in final planning, 3 more hotels in St. Petersburg, one in Madeira Beach, one in Clearwater, or I'm sorry, 2 in Madeira Beach, one in Clearwater, one in Tarpon Springs. So we are seeing some growth and projects really all over the county. And then from the proposed projects, where they're kind of coming from is, again, sort of all over the place, which I think is probably a good thing. St. Pete Beach, Clearwater, St. Petersburg, Largo, Tarpon Springs, all these places have something at least being proposed. When we're looking at our visitor profile for December, there's a few trends here. Overall, they're taking a little bit more time between when they decide to visit and when they arrive. They're spending more in destination, but it seems like they're not quite staying as long. And we are starting to see a higher household income than we were previously seeing earlier in 2023. When we compare our day trip visitors, those tend to be a little older, spending less in our destination, and generally have a lower household income, which might be why they're spending a little bit less. Again, I don't think that any of these numbers are probably jumping off from what we've been previously talking about, but we are sort of seeing that decision time between visiting and arriving ticking up. Again, in the lower left-hand corner, you see the travel spending increase, and then we're kind of still in between the numbers that we were seeing from that average household income. But overall, the trends are kind of staying consistent for us. That's all that I have this month. Do you guys have any questions or?
Eddie, I wonder if we could get a 12-month look at that. We're looking at a snapshot of December only, just to really see how it is a year over year, be it the fiscal year or calendar year.
Yeah, we got a calendar year report actually yesterday, so we should be able to present that next month.
Great, thank you.
Hey, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Eddie, good report as always. 2 questions. When I look at the December overnight, the average household income is down slightly, from what it was in 2021 up to 2022. But are we concerned there at 99,000?
I think that's a difficult question to answer. Are we concerned? I would be more concerned if that travel party spending was also correlating to that household income. We do see that those numbers are not totally in line. We're seeing a higher degree of spending come up. The household income is a tough one for us to be reporting this way. And I think that we'll have a better way to maybe report that kind of household income range that we're seeing with Symphony. Right now, this is based off survey data, right. But I think moving forward, we'll have some mobile data that we'll be reporting for kind of larger numbers and pairing those with U.S. Census Bureau data that we'll look at maybe more of how that is broken out by the different kind of groupings of household wealth.
Great, thank you. And then the second question, a good report on the pipeline. Refresh my memory, how many total hotel rooms do we have in Pinellas County?
Total hotel rooms in Pinellas County is, shoot, I didn't realize I was going to be quizzed on this, about 20,000. 23,000.
23,000.
All right.
Great. Thank you very much.
I'd like to be closer than that, but it's okay.
Mr. Williams, I will make a comment on your first question. You mentioned the overnight visitor household income being down from a previous year. I would point out that we saw, when we started seeing those numbers year-over-year decline last April, that was a number that was significantly lower, the household income. And what we've seen since April of last year, that has crept up every month to this is the highest it's been since last April. So while it's down over 2021 and 2022, it is on an upward trajectory. And it kind of combines with Clyde's comment about seeing the rolling base, the annual snapshot there. One of the things that we're in the process of doing is looking for a lot of these trends. We've seen slight adjustments, but overall, I've been seeing a lot of the same things since April on these visitor profiles. So what we're looking at doing is figuring out, do we maybe only do them quarterly as opposed to monthly, and painting that full picture of, okay, since last April, and we started seeing these trends, where are we at now, and how much have each of those categories moved?
Any additional questions? Doreen Moore.
Yes, just wanted to.
And then
you men-
Chuck will be after.
You mentioned about getting part of the report yesterday, and I appreciate Terry sending that out. But can you somehow prompt them to get these to us in advance so that we can see them, at least a few days before the meeting? In other words, we were getting our agenda package, but it was noted that you didn't have the destination metrics. So it would be good if we could have that more timely.
Yeah, we
not your fault,
apologize
I'm
for that. We rely on a third party to get us that information, and they will get that information to you in the future.
Chuck.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nice job, Eddie. Thank you very much. As it talks about why we were down in December, do you have a speculation, or is there any kind of data that says, was it weather, was it the economy, was it, we talked about this last meeting, other destinations that may be taking some of our tourists?
Yeah, we did see enthusiasm just generally drop a little bit in December when we looked at the State of the American Traveler report. So it does kind of tell us that, we had an unexpectedly good month in November. For December, we didn't see as many people just taking beach vacations. Obviously, there was a weather factor in that, but it's hard to know if that influenced people's decisions to visit when we're talking about, them planning that trip well in advance. Yeah, when I'm looking at these numbers, because we were looking at January numbers as well, and we do see some decline in sort of demand for not just our area but Gulf Coast destinations. So that's something that we'll have to look at a little bit more and understand if there's a pattern going on there that for some reason is affecting the Gulf Coast versus Orlando and Miami, and why that might be happening. Unfortunately, I don't have a direct answer.
My second of three questions goes to the overall, the visitor profile. And I love the slide or the image that shows millennial, Gen X, and Boomer, and then we look at by year. And there's clearly a trend there, and we talked about this also last meeting, where we've got baby boomers growing in this market. So then the question for you is, are you going to embrace that and slightly modify your target audience to that, or to boomers, or do you say we need to spend more time trying to boost back up the Gen X's or millennials?
Yeah, it's funny because we had a very long conversation about this last week at our all-agency call, and we did decide this is something that we'll have to look at further. When we were doing our creative testing, one thing to note is that we had a high degree of what our creative is right now in market resonating with boomers as well as millennials. Those tend to be the highest demographics when we were looking at our current creative. So we also did, when we captured our creative, really tried to do our due diligence to get as much different types of talent and looks as we could get. So I know that we do have the ability to kind of shift around, the different talent that we have in our creative images and things like that. And then we'll have to look at, if there's opportunities there to specifically reach that, boomer generation, what types of media that they're consuming. and really sort of go from there in terms of, what can we determine as a campaign that we can really test out the ROI on measuring that demographic.
And the last one, here's an example. I do love this graphic we get with the visitor profile. And I'm excited because you're excited about Symphony coming next month. Are we still going to see, for instance, these type of slides, or how are they going to differ?
Yeah. So, I mean, this was kind of going to the point that Brian was making it. Some of these metrics that we do report on the visitor profile, maybe we don't need to see every month with regard to things like household income and studying the shifts from month to month versus quarter to quarter. However, there is some demographic information that I think we'll be able to start sharing that is not directly sampled from visitors in the destination. It's observed data from, tracking devices, pairing those with, other places where we can match that, those sort of identities. So I think that we will be presenting actually more information to you moving forward. It won't necessarily be in this specific layout or format, but I feel highly confident that you'll, the updated version will be, easy to access and some great information.
We look forward to seeing it next month. Thanks as always, Eddie. Great job.
Any further question? Clyde? and
More of
then
a
Russ.
comment. Thank you, Madam Chair. More of a
Okay.
comment to Chuck's question on December. There was a big impact from FEMA last December. That, of course, fortunately wasn't here this year. I know my property was over 10% occupancy that we had in FEMA rooms last year. So I don't know what it was for the county, but that was a big change.
And we knew that was an issue for Ian when it came through in October, and we saw higher than normal occupancy numbers in October and November. I think was it Nicole that came through in December of last year? Was no name. So we were aware of that storm. I guess we didn't know how many rooms that ultimately, sent our way through FEMA. So it was more difficult to see the spike, or if it was just a natural progression from 2022 to 2023 in terms of demand. So it was a little bit harder for us to make that as, speculation.
Russ?
Yeah, the first question is, we were just told the 23,000 rooms that we have in the county. Does that include Airbnb and all that miscellaneous? Do you know what that number is, approximately?
So I will give you a very approximate.
Give me a little
and
less,
depending
will you?
depending on the source, it ranges anywhere from 22,000 up to 28,000 countywide.
So it's like 28,000 tax collectors of the,
Airbnb?
Theoretically.
okay.
That would be vacation rental and Airbnb.
Right.
Yep.
And the other part of it is, I didn't see anything in the regions of the other state areas of the state, occupancy and all. Is that monthly, or is that going to be quarterly, or how is that planned out?
That's something that we can determine and bring back to you. Obviously interested in knowing what your desire would be for that, monthly or quarterly. It is something because of, we're a little bit hesitant to share the exact numbers.
I personally think that's a very important number to see. It justifies a lot of things for financing hotels and all with lenders and everything. And I think cities and counties look at it. And I think we need to be doing it, showing it monthly, but also for a time period, as somebody, I think Mike suggested, the yearly. I think we need to be, that's important numbers for us.
We removed that, but we'll go ahead and put that back in moving forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'd look for it monthly. Thank you, Brian. Mr. Williams?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Russ, just a follow-up on your point, and I don't want to underestimate it. For developers looking to bring hotels to the area, This is information that hopefully we're sharing with economic development partners, anyone who's involved in bringing businesses, bringing hotels to Pinellas County. This is critical data for them. So hopefully we're sending it out early and often to everybody.
Sure, and I'll just take this opportunity to say that this presentation, these destination metrics, we have changed them over the course of the last 8 or 9 months. And what our intent to do is provide information that is useful to you all. So this is the kind of feedback I need to hear so that I can work with Eddie and his team to make sure we're not giving you statistics and data that doesn't matter. We need intentional data that you all can find value in. So thank you.
Okay, any other, Ms. Moore?
Yes, one last question. So in talking about the changes to the formats and I guess the new third-party company is I'm hearing, how is that going to affect the short-term rental
It's
snapshot?
the same data will be, is already connected to that dashboard, so it will be the same. Yeah, it might look, a little bit different, but it's the exact same data.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, thank you so much. Great information as always. Next, we're going to move on to advertising update by Katie Bridges.
Good morning. I'm here to share a little snapshot of some of our advertising that we have in market. Just a reminder, these are the markets that we are advertising with our traditional message. As we've shared, digital does have a wider swath. It's the kind of the blue, but with our targeted integrated markets with traditional, we are focusing on Chicago, Atlanta, Indianapolis, Minneapolis, and Detroit. And those we're calling our developmental markets, where we do a little larger media spend with them. We do broadcast, cable, and radio, out-of-home print, promotional opportunities, and digital as well. And then our developmental markets, so New York City and Philadelphia. As we shared, I think last month, we were in New York City back in December for a holiday event. And then Philadelphia, obviously, we're really working closely with the Philadelphia Union and the Phillies for spring training, and then regular season, working on all of those assets. And then our maintenance markets. So that's Orlando, Jacksonville, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Nashville, and Cincinnati. So those are important markets, but we've been in those for a while, so we don't need as much media to tell our story. We don't have cable in there, but we do have radio, out-of-home, print, and promotions. So just to update on our broadcast, so we partnered with Visit Florida on a campaign that just ended. It ran for a month, and it just ended earlier this month. It was a TV package, and it ran in several markets, and including the markets that are a priority for us. So it's great to be able to partner with Visit Florida. The cost sharing is awesome, and it's and these are the markets that we're in as well. So we ran our 30-second commercial spot, and at the end, we had tagged Visit Florida with their logo. So any opportunities to work with Visit Florida that makes sense for us, we'll definitely do that. And then we're continuing in our developmental markets a TV campaign focusing on those high-indexing households and programming, so 30-second TV spots, and they launch this week on Monday. And you can see some of the stations that we're on, including HGTV, and we've got the agency, as you know, Rock the Block just filmed here, and they will be launching their season in Treasure Island on March 4th, so we're working to make sure our message is in front of that audience. And then we have radio. So radio is in our developmental and our maintenance markets. We focus on high indexing station formats, including NPR, and then in some Spanish Latino in some of those markets where we have a Spanish red spot. And then urban contemporary stations targeting our Black audience. Those, again, are 30-second spots, and those start next week. And then this is a promotion we've done with Orlando, with WESH NBC in Orlando for several years now. We're continuing that with our beach cam airtime. So we every day when they show the weather, they promote our beaches over here on the west, also known as Best Coast. And then we also have 15-second spots that are rotated in throughout to promote our message.
Here's today's live look at Clearwater Beach on Florida's Gulf Coast, one of America's best beaches. Let's shine. Plan your getaway at visitstpeteclearwater.com.
So that's the live shot there with the voiceover. And then new this year, as part of our co-op program with our partners, we offered the opportunity to partner with us on WESH. This is the first time we've put this as a co-op opportunity. And it's the beach cam is followed by a contest message. So we have a dedicated week during the month where we promote a contest, and it resides on WESH.com, promotes entry for your chance to win, and that gets lead generation and interest for our partner. Let me see if this will play. Yeah. The voiceover, there is a voiceover, it's not on the spot yet, but it promotes a beach day giveaway and leads to WESH.com/contest, and all that information on entries is shared with us as well as the partner. And we're doing that every month, 1 week a month. And then out of home, our digital billboards. So this is also in our developmental and our maintenance markets. Digital billboards, we can change the message. And we ran a campaign last October, November, and we've got one going on right now in those markets. So it's a nice complement to our radio and our cable going on and our digital efforts in those markets to really make St. Pete Clearwater high interest and awareness. Here's an example of some of the creative. Let's dream it up. So we've got an arts message there on beach and obviously our wonderful sunsets. And then print. So again, we partner with Visit Florida on their annual publication. This is a 2-page spread, and we use this as a co-op opportunity for partners. Visit Florida just released this last month. We also are advertising in Afar, and we've got an ad this month in Magnolia. And here's an example of some of the creative that we're running. I'm really excited about this. This is a content, it's kind of an advertorial content partnership we have with a Chicago Magazine, Atlanta Magazine, and Minneapolis St. Paul. So the inside cover of these publications for 6 months will be dedicated to St. Pete Clearwater. And we're calling our How We Shine content series. So we partner with the writer from that publication and try and tell a story about our destination. So this is the January issue, and it's about beaches and outdoors. We worked with some of our partners to provide quotes to kind of give it that authentic voice from the destination. The February one was How We Shine, was arts focused, and it was a great interview with Duncan McClellan from Duncan McClellan Glass about our art scene. And that, again, will appear in those publications. And we're working on right now for restaurants and bars, and we have a 6-month series with this. And then working with some consumer travel publications, so Miami Magazine, and this is some of the creative that we're running here. Let's live it up, let's get dreamy, let's show our pride. So that third ad is in Lavender Magazine. It is an LGBTQ publication in Minneapolis that resonates well. And then some arts and culture creative. So we are running in Playbill in Chicago, Playbill Magazine in Chicago, Art in America, and this is Miami Magazine, and this is some of the arts creative that we're running to show the diversity of our art scene. And then lastly, we've been working closely with some influencers, and we've created a program called Live Like a Local, and where we invite influencers to come into the destination and experience it for themselves. We create a wonderful itinerary for them to do, jam-packed itinerary, so they can see as many things and experience all of our wonderful partners. We hosted Noelle Foley back in January. It was a good tie-in with wrestling, with WWE. She is the daughter of a famous wrestler, but she has sensory issues, so she did not participate in any of the wrestling, but showed some other sides of the destination. And then Yasmin, Florida with Yasmin, she came out to the Rise Up concert series in St. Pete, did some other outdoor stuff. What's great with these influencers is that we're able to work with them and create content of our own so that we can use for our promotional channels. And then, of course, they share their own content on their with their followers, which, as you can see, is pretty high. Noelle is more of an uber higher level influencer just based on her popularity and her familiarity, family ties. And then Yasmin has a strong following as well. So, yeah, I just wanted to share with you kind of an update on our winter, spring efforts there.
Any questions?
Hey, Katie, do you have a copy of the 30-second cable spot that we can see?
I can send it out to you, yes.
Okay.
I don't have it right here, but I can email it to you.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate all your hard work. Next, we are going to have the meeting and conventions update.
My name is Hortensia Simmons, Senior Sales Manager with the Meetings and Conference team. Today I'm going to talk about our first quarter of the year and how we're doing. So far, since October to now, we have attended 11 trade shows. IMEX America at the top is the largest U.S. trade show, and we have 6 partners that always attends that show with us. The other shows are some of our smaller shows. We're going more into the direction of meeting and incentives, which is our luxury show we did in El Paso and one in Mexico. Now that we have some luxury brand hotels in our inventory, we have a lot of companies and associations that are looking at us to host incentive meetings. So we're moving in that direction to attend some of those shows. FSAE Education Expo is our Florida Society of Association Executives. That's one of our largest Florida trade shows, and we have 5 partners to attend that show with us. And as you know, Florida is our feeder market, so we have a lot of business that comes out of Florida. NCBMP is one of our diversity conferences that we attend every year to move into that direction of diversity in the LGBTQ market. RCMA is Religious Conference Management Association, and that is it's one of the largest religious trade shows that's been hosted. PCMA is an educational conference that we attend. It's the Professional Conference Management Associations. So it's one of the conferences where we get a chance to meet with a lot of the association executives and corporations that are there to do educational training. So let's talk about how we're doing for the year. October, we had 19 meetings, 3,181 attendees. At the end of the month, we had 7,733 room nights. Moving on to November, 21 meetings, 2,307 delegates, total 6,329 room nights. In December, we had 23 meetings, 2,956 delegates, 7,277 room nights total. January, 31 meetings, 4,184 delegates, 12,542 room nights booked for the total. So just to show you where we are, year-to-date total room nights, 33,562 room nights. Last year, we were at 36,556. So we're just under a little 3,000, but we're on our goal to meeting our total room night goal for the year. So far, in our incentives that we give out to help incentivize groups to book the destination, we have given out $175,037 monetary incentives to our groups. And our monetary incentives is so important to us to help incentivize us, since we don't have a convention center and we're not able to book some of those bigger groups, but to pull some of those meetings from our destinations like Miami, Fort Lauderdale. We offer the incentive to our hotel partners and to our third-party meeting planners that come into the destination. And this is really important to us because this sets us apart from some of the other destinations that don't offer the incentives to the groups to come into their destination. And our convention services that goes along with our incentives. For instance, our site selection, helping the meeting planners once they get to the destination. We pick them up at the airport. We help set up hotel accommodations. We take them around the destination to any type of off-site venues and other things that they want to see, just kind of educating them and letting them see what we have to offer. We do save-the-date postcard mailers where we print postage, mail them out for the conferences, and that's always a huge hit to kind of get everybody excited about the destination. And we do welcome marquee at the airport. We provide the bags, the brochures. We also help with social media shout outs. We have 3 trade shows that we're up and coming. We have Meet NYSAE. I have 2 hotel partners coming with me. We're going to be in New York City doing a Broadway show, also doing a client event, and just meeting with other meeting planners. Express Meetings Corporate is actually a new conference that we're attending that started last year, and we're going to go to that and see what type of meeting planners and the corporations that we can meet with there to bring about new business to the destination. And Brian is going to do an incentive show in Colorado that is a market we have not touched on in quite a bit of time. So he's going to go up there and meet with some of the incentive planners there to see about bringing new business. Thank you.
Mr. Williams, any other?
Hortensia, thanks for a good report. A couple questions. I know we're still looking for a VP of convention sales. But in the meantime, is it possible that we can see the meetings booked for each month versus same time last year? These numbers don't mean a lot unless we can see how they compare to a previous time. Okay. The same thing on the monetary incentives. To compare that to same time last year. Okay. The other question that I have is, have we established our personal sales goals for each salesperson?
We have not established the personal sales goals for each of the individuals. We are wrapping up our KPIs, and in there we have goals for individual initiatives. But as far as individual team members that are within different departments, we've not established individual goals.
Do you see that happening sometime in the near future?
Yes.
Okay. It would also be interesting to see, and perhaps this is something that your VP of sales will do, but it's great to see that we've gone to trade shows. But are we making our goals? Are we, how many sales calls did we make? How many site inspections did we do? Those are direct sales efforts that are measurable. Standing in a booth, certainly we have to have a presence, but tangible sales actions and tactics that we can assign and hold salespeople accountable for is critical in any sales organization. And Brian, I have to share, I'm a little disappointed we haven't set those sales goals yet because, we're into the second quarter of the year, right?
So before we do the individual ones, we had no goals for the departments. And so before I can set individual goals for every member of our of the 5 different departments that are in sales, I had to establish first department goals for them and KPIs that we can measure. And the metrics that you just touched on are exactly what we're focused on. But we have to establish those for the department before I can do it for the individuals. But I 100% hear you. Yeah.
For those of us in the hotel business, we know that you know, the sales individual that comes back from a trade show and says, look, I collected 150 business cards and shook hands with 150 people. That doesn't mean anything to me. The salesperson that comes back and says, here are the 5 people that I needed to see for these 5 events that had a program for Pinellas County. I saw those 5 people. 3 of them are going tentative, 2 of them are going definite. That's a meaningful trade show attendance, not collecting 150 business cards.
One of the things that we're wrapping up, and this is the first time where I've gone through the budget and seen the number of trade shows and conferences that we attend. And so that was exactly what I wanted to look at is if we've got 38 shows in the budget, all 38 of those shows should have business that was booked directly from that show, or otherwise that's not a show that we need to continue. So those are the sorts of things that we're looking at. And if you don't have those measurables from specific shows, we won't be going to those shows moving forward.
Good. Thank you. Thanks, Hortensia.
Russ?
Mike covered the discussion.
Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead, Chuck.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We talked about this last year. When you go to the shows, I'm specifically talking about incentives now, and we're at $3 to $5 per room night. Tell me when you're in that room up against South Florida, Orlando, or other destinations outside the state, how do we stack up, and is that a handicap for you?
It is a handicap because some of the other destinations have went all the way up to $10. So,
Thank you.
and also, sorry not to.
No, that's good.
But we're also trying to move forward in adding transportation because, Tampa Airport is so far away. And if we could somehow assist with transportation, especially within the destination, when clients want to leave Clearwater Beach or they want to see something in downtown St. Pete. And we also make sure we educate them, letting them know it is a long bus ride, but some of them want to take their attendees to St. Pete, but it can be kind of expensive. So, if we can help with transportation, we do. But yeah, the incentives and transportation is a huge, huge thing for us because our destination is so spread out. So that would be a really good thing that we could have more money for that.
Hortensia, thank you very much. Great. So then I will shoot it back to Brian or maybe Madam Chair. To get that number change from 3 to 5 up to something greater than that, is that a Visit St. Pete Clearwater directive and budget item, or is it up to BCC to give you further funding in that?
That would be something that we would address in our budget that we take to the BCC, to the county administrator and the BCC. It's a line item. It's not per se a decision point. It's a line item, and we could make adjustments within the budget to enhance one particular line.
And then to just conclude, the $3 to $5 per night, is it appropriate, adequate, not adequate? What's the temperature from your office on that budget item?
Quite frankly, I haven't had enough experience to fully be able to answer that question. I will tell you, you heard Hortensia mention that it does set us apart from many destinations that have no incentive. So there are going to be some that have none. There are going to be some that have higher, and you saw where we're at. So I just don't know the full gamut yet.
Thank you. Just from listening to Russ and Mike over the years, how vitally important it is for their group sales business to operate their businesses, the Birchwood on a much smaller scale. For our event space, it's very, I can speak personally, it's very important to our bottom line. So I would just encourage you to review that with staff and figure out what is the appropriate number to compete adequately with these other destinations. Thank you.
Mike.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Brian, as we dig into these sales processes, one of the things that I would encourage you to look at and be forceful with your sales folks with is a regret analysis. It's always good to understand what business we're booking, but what business are we losing and why did we lose it? Is it because the incentive was not great enough? Is it because of transportation? What's the reason behind them picking another destination versus Pinellas County? And that regret analysis should be a vital part of the follow-up when we lose a piece of business from the hotel community as well as our own salespeople.
Excuse me, add also, that also should be looked at for capital investments also is what it tells you too.
Any other comments or questions? No. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great discussion. And next, we're going to talk about the WWE Royal Rumble, and Brian's going to talk to us about that.
And I have the honor of filling in for Jason today as he is at a PR event with UK media. So I'll go ahead, and I wanted to provide just an update on the WWE Royal Rumble that we had at Tropicana Field last month. Some of us were there, others watched on Peacock, but I wanted to make sure when we talked about Royal Rumble, you heard about Royal Rumble, and when we talk about things on the horizon, things that we want to bring to the destination, this is what we're talking about. So high-level numbers, we did set a record for attendance at the Trop. There was an announced attendance of over 44,000, or excuse me, 48,000. 44,000, sorry. My eyes aren't what they used to be. And tickets were sold in all 50 states. 19 different countries, and you can see some of how did this impact the different properties. So you saw there was almost a 10% year-over-year increase in occupancy the night of the event, 14.7% year-over-year increase in ADR, and then a 26.1% increase in RevPAR year-over-year. So we saw that impact. Actually, when we first made the announcement, our sports folks were getting calls from WWE about, hey, we need rooms. Where do we go? They're already selling out in the downtown St. Petersburg area. So I want to take the opportunity just to show you, I think there's 5 or 6 short clips that were on the actual event. We did see these both inside the arena, but also this, I was sure to go home and stay up all night watching it to see our exposure. These did come across the broadcast extremely nice.
I am here at the beautiful St. Pete Pier where the sun is beating down. We got palm trees, we got birds chirping, the ocean is turquoise, there's people out on boats, there's people out paddle boarding, and the drinks, well, they're ice cold, just as I like them. Now, this is the ultimate place for relaxation, the place to kick your feet up, let time slow down. That's 364 days of the year, but today's a little different. The excitement, the buzz in St. Pete is here today because the Royal Rumble is in town. And I know a thing or two about the Royal Rumble. Got to bring your A game. You've got to hope that you've got your wits about you at all time. And you've also got to hope that Lady Luck gives you a favorable draw. But with that being said, I'm going to finish my drink, might go for a dip, then I'm going to have a couple more drinks, and I will see all of you later tonight at the Tropicana Field for the Royal Rumble.
And I think that one goes, that's the entire intro, so I'm going to cut it off there. But you get the point. When these large-scale, worldwide events come here, this is the type of exposure that we're going after. As far as the reach, on social media, we did a video down at the pier in the weeks leading up. We had 2 of the WWE superstars with the belt, and they went around and basically did a a Q&A with folks that they saw on the pier. Hey, we're in town for the Royal Rumble. What do you recommend for us to go to a restaurant, go to a bar, and ask people? And that was the most viewed Instagram reel that Visit St. Pete Clearwater's ever been a part of. And it was because we were able to partner with those WWE superstars. That got over a total of, I remember the first day, within a couple hours, it was like 270,000 views. We had 1.6 million in cross-platform social impressions, 1.1 million social media accounts reached, and over 100,000 cross-platform social engagements. So the exposure that comes with these events on top of the heads and beds that it brings is substantial. These were just a few of the articles, the headlines that we put up there, but for months leading up to the event, it was getting publicity, and every time it was St. Pete Clearwater, St. Pete Clearwater, St. Pete Clearwater. Happy to answer any questions you've got on the event.
No questions. You want to go to the rest of your updates?
Certainly. So dune restoration, we're going to be transitioning this now from dune restoration to beach update. The dune project is complete. Yesterday, actually, at the BCC meeting, the Board of County Commissioners did approve a contract with Aptum to begin the design for a full-scale beach nourishment project. And they did that to make sure that whatever direction occurs with that project, it takes substantial amount of planning and design work permitting for that. So they're going to go ahead and get that started now so that depending on what occurs in the coming months, they're ready to rock and roll and get that project done in as quickly as possible. And then also, in addition to that, they did accept a grant from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, and this was for $15.1 million of the project for the emergency dune restoration project. So not only does Kelly get projects done, but then she goes and advocates and gets money back into the TDT. Any questions on beach nourishment?
No, and I can just add, I was in D.C. on Monday. Senator Scott's staff is really kind of taking the lead on the Senate side. Rubio's involved, but Greg Cardone and Senator Scott's office is really taking the lead. What we're hoping for is that the appropriations in the water and energy budget would, because currently the department, they don't have a budget yet. They're 5 months into the year and they still don't have a budget. So if they approve this budget, what we're hoping is that they will put in some proviso, which typically doesn't happen in Congress, that states that any projects that were funded with last year's money, that they get last year's money and they have to follow through with the projects that were already identified without any restrictions. So that would eliminate the easement issue. And that would get us the projects that were already funded. So South County would definitely be included. But we're waiting on that proviso, and we just don't know if we're going to be able to get language in because they typically don't put policy language in with appropriations. But we're hopeful we can do that. They're also working on the WRDA, which would change policies, but that's not short term, that's longer term. And that's where they change their policies and their rules and regs. But that's probably a year down the road to get that completed. So there's just a quick update on that.
I also wanted to give you an update on something new that Kylie and her team have implemented. One of the things that we heard was our partners want to engage with us. And so in order to, one of the things that they're doing in order to facilitate that is we're opening up our office to our partners, and in many different ways. And two of those that we kicked off this past month were they're going to be quarterly training sessions, and whether it's with our partners, our chambers, our frontline staff, as was the case this past month, our team is going to work with them to give trainings on the destination, how they can partner with Visit St. Pete Clearwater, and just overall destination trainings for their employees. Additionally, I had my first coffee chat with the CEO, and it was open to anyone. We capped it at 25, and I learned two things. One, folks want to be a part of Visit St. Pete Clearwater. They want to partner with us. Number two, 2 hours is not long enough for those coffee chats. So we look forward to continuing those on a quarterly basis, and we'll be sure to that you all get those registrations. Those go out in our partner updates. And if you have anything that you think would be valuable, please let us know. So I had on here a Florida Tourism Day in Tallahassee update. When we put this together, we'd just come back from Destination Florida Legislative Day and had the opportunity to meet with all of our legislators. At that time, there were a number of bills that would impact the tourist development tax that were introduced in Tallahassee, none of them really getting much headway. However, since that time, the House tax package came out, and language in that tax package does state, it does include that the tourist development tax would need to go out to voters for referendum by 2029, and those would have to be approved every 6 years moving forward. On the Senate side, their tax package came out this week, and it does not include that language. However, it does include language that would require any project that accounts for over 25% of the TDT in a year would need to be approved by a supermajority of the Board of County Commissioners. So two different proposals and the two different tax packages moving on the House and Senate. They will pass those here probably this week or next week, and then they'll go into conference, and they will have to get those two mesh and to see where we go. So I just wanted to make sure that you all were aware of that. Some of you I know were, others perhaps not, but wanted to make sure you were aware of that. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to us.
Hey, Brian, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
The Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association, just the other day, put out a recap of all of those bills you were just discussing, and I find it to be terribly informative and keeps everybody up to speed. I'd be happy to share that with you, and then you route it as you see fit.
Certainly, and the reason I didn't put anything out was because those weren't getting any play. We're in week 7 now of session. And so really, I just wanted to hone in on the two that were advancing.
Got it.
Oh, Chuck, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This would be a comment for Ms. Coffey. If in fact this gets traction in whatever form, whether it's this session or probably more likely next session, what do we do as a county if we fund some major potential expenditure for something that needs to be capitalized over 20 years? But yet we are now sunset. How are you going to pay for it? We can't go back and tax people.
So of course, obviously, we're going to look at the final version of whatever bill comes out, and hopefully that it will be, generally bills are prospective unless they are explicitly retroactive. So if we've already got something in place, hopefully that will be grandfathered in. However, going forward, obviously we would need to look at every project and make sure we're getting that supermajority vote and address it for each project. But we just have to wait and see what the final language adopted actually is. So we haven't done a full analysis based on what we currently have because it hasn't passed yet.
And I appreciate that. And I've heard that, well, grandfather, but yet, if it's a question of we're relying on paying for these things with income from a bed tax and that bed tax is sunset, there is no grandfathering in if you say, well, we need $10 million this year to pay for something we already obligated. I'm talking about in 2030. Can we just give a little bit of bed tax to pay for that obligation? Of course, you can't do that. So that's why I just don't understand how we're supposed to make an obligation we can't fund.
I see. So basically, you're saying if the tourist development tax sunsets isn't reinstated and we've got an obligation, all of our agreements for bonds, everything else, there's always the fiscal non-funding provisions. So we would have to look into, for that particular bond agreement, what are the unwinding provisions. But there are always contingencies for if the county suddenly doesn't have money, whether it's because the tourist development tax has been sunset, or if there's a disaster and we stop having tourists and we don't get the funding that we were expecting. So it's not pretty, but there are provisions for that. So we would of course have to tackle that when it came. I know that's not super helpful, but it all depends on the very specific factors.
It is. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, any other comments? Brian?
You all have the finance report, and if you have any questions, Terry, our VP of Finance and Administration, is here and can answer those.
It's not in the packet. I don't have it.
I apologize. We'll bring that to you next month. I'll send you an email that has the current finance report, and then we will also bring forth a finance report in next month's agenda as well.
Could he give us a summary?
Terry, can you provide a brief summary?
Terry Tuxhorn, Vice President of Finance and Administration.
Can you all hear her? Pull that microphone down a little closer. It's hard to hear you. Perfect. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
That's better.
Okay, I'm just going to touch on some of the highlights. The tourist development taxes that are in the report are from November. The December taxes and 6.2 million were deposited in February on the 6th. I'm on the advertising and marketing. It's showing like 7.42% has been expended, but in addition to the January actuals, we currently have 2.3 million in expenses that are currently in process. Also on the chamber visitor services, it's showing that 0 has been expended, and we're just now processing the first round of payments to the chambers. On the digital marketing contract, we currently have $892,000 that are currently in process, which would make that 26% expended. And then on the research, we have an additional $46,700 in process. So they're right on target. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Phil?
Do you have the total in the capital reserve? Jim probably has that.
The capital reserve, Jim, I have $112,086,920.
Any other questions or comments? So next month, we'll make sure we have everything for you in advance. But thank you for that update. Are there any discussions from the board? Doreen?
Yes, one comment we didn't touch on, but the Hallmark movie that was filmed and shown recently about Dunedin. I have a staff member who lives in Dunedin and involved in real estate sales, and he watched it with his family and was just like so overwhelmed with how it highlighted, showcased Dunedin, the businesses. They didn't change the name, didn't obscure things, and kind of a double-edged sword about it. Was just so overwhelming to see how people would be enticed to come here, and he's going, but we don't want too many, But he for being a resident, he just said that it was so super, and I explained to him about incentives and how we help with the Hallmark movies through the tourism tax and so forth. So just a good plug for an excellent promotion.
Thank you. Chuck?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just as a general comment, Brian, you mentioned it, but I just want to make a special shout out for Kelly to manage this potential crisis with our beaches so well, and then to reach out and get monies that was unprecedented from the state of over $15 million. I just am so appreciative of all she's done for our beaches, which i.e. is our tourism, which so many of us rely on that, jobs, income. So thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. She deserves a lot of praise. Mike?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hey, Brian, I'm so happy to see your coffee chat with the CEO is going over well. Who was in attendance at that? You said you capped it at 25?
Yeah, and there were many folks. There were folks from different properties. Matter of fact, someone from Innisbrook was in attendance. There were folks from publications, folks from attractions. It really ran the gauntlet on who was there in attendance. We had partners that were there on the digital side, advertising partners. We had a film production company that was present. So it was a wide swath of folks who were represented.
That's great. How often do you plan on doing those?
Quarterly.
Oh, good, good. Would we be breaking any sunshine laws if any of us attended one of those?
If one or more of you attended at the same time and any topics come up that could come before this board, then that would be a problem. However, if you just go and there is no discussion amongst you, you're fine.
Yep. Keep it zipped.
What I would suggest is if anyone would like to attend one of those, just let us know, and then I'll know that, hey, we can't have another TDC member attend that one. And if someone else wants to attend, we can just ask them to attend it the next month. So.
Great. I think it's a great program and well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think there's a limit, Brian, on having TDC members there. I think a lot could be there. You just have to ensure you're not going to discuss something that we're going to vote on. So more than, there's always that fear, oh, if there's one of you there, I can't go. That's really not the case. You all can go. It's just that if a topic is going to come up that's going to come before you, don't have a discussion on it. That's the only clarification. Other people can discuss it. You can't discuss it because you can't let your opinion influence others. So it's really, I don't think you have to go to the point of only letting one at a time. And I think sometimes people fear the sunshine a little more than they need to. So that's just my opinion.
Thanks for clarifying.
Any other discussions from the board?
I was just,
I'm sorry, Trish, and then Brian.
I was just going to say, while we're doing our shout outs, I just want to thank Brian for our one-on-ones. I really feel like a lot of is accomplished during those calls. So I just want to thank you for adding that.
Okay. And Mayor?
Speaking of one-on-ones, Brian, you and I talked about elite events. Do you want to talk about that now, or are you going to wait till next meeting?
We plan to bring that up and give you an update on that at the next month's TDC meeting.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Clyde.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just two comments. One on the Taste of Love. It was great for Dunedin. A little disappointed Tampa Bay didn't get mentioned in there. So you kind of have to know where Dunedin is to get the grasp of the whole location. But it was great for Dunedin. And the other is the Royal Rumble. Interesting event. First time anything like that for me. It was really exciting. But a shout out to the volunteers at the Tropicana Field. So many of them. They're used to maybe 10,000 person crowds for the Rays game. They had that many, and they were just as friendly as they were for any Rays game. Just really went well with that kind of volume and the people that were there that didn't know the area. So shout out to the volunteers.
Yeah, we'll have to work on traffic though. Boy. Any other questions, Brian?
I did have a couple walk-ons here that didn't make it on the agenda, but I wanted to bring up. In line with the Taste of Love shout out, I did want to also give a mention that Rock the Block, which is HGTV's #1 show, that will premiere. That was recently filmed, the entire season 5 in Treasure Island, and it was actually the first time it was on a waterfront properties, and so that will air the season premiere on March 4th at 9. Season 5 will be 7 episodes on HGTV, and just to give you some perspective, season 4 of the show reached 12.7 million viewers. So it's a very popular show. They're going to have some incredible shots of Treasure Island. They were in destination for quite some time filming that. And I want to thank Lisa and Quinn and everyone who was involved on making that project happen. And then the last thing I have is some of you have seen or had the opportunity to meet Steve Grimes, but we do have our newest member of the Visit St. Pete Clearwater team here in attendance today, and actually our first Chief Marketing Officer. So if Steve would like to come up and just introduce himself, you all had the opportunity to see some of his experience in the press release that went out, but I want to make sure you meet him here today.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to meet you all in person. Thanks for the warm welcome to everybody on the team. I won't take lots of time. You've heard a little about me, but a quick background. I'm from England, if that wasn't immediately obvious. Started my career in London, and my first 2 clients were the Savoy Hotel and the Orient Express train. So working with travel and hotels goes right the way back. I won't say how long, but quite a few years ago. I came over to the US originally for a year, still here 20-something years later, in Chicago, and then Seattle, and then New York. There I've worked in sports, entertainment, destinations in New York and attractions, and then moved down to the Tampa Bay area to work for Ironman, to lead the advertising and social media for the Ironman group. Fortunately, when I moved to the Tampa Bay area and asked where should I live in Tampa, somebody was smart enough to say St. Pete. So my family, we moved to St. Pete and have loved being in Pinellas County and have just embraced everything about the area. So couldn't be more excited to be taking on this and hopefully bringing my experience from all those different areas to bear on everything that we have to offer the people here. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Welcome.
Questions?
Any questions for? No. Okay, they're going to wait for next month and get you.
Thanks.
Okay, any other further discussion? So go ahead, Mike.
You just requested one, and you will be receiving Visit St. Pete Clearwater lapel pens with your names on them.
Okay. So I do want to add, Phil Henderson wasn't here during roll call to make sure who's taken the notes includes that he's present. Also, I want to give you an update. We did reach out to the Mayor's Council to get a new nominee, a slate of nominees for Mayor Buchowski's slot. They only meet quarterly, so we don't expect to get that till April. And then the VCC will appoint them. So unfortunately, they won't be here, but it will be a whole new term for them, whoever starts. So we'll have that kind of mid-year, May, probably by May, we'll have whoever it is designated. And then also, I did mention at my first meeting that I would like to do something that would bring the next chair in to kind of already be up to speed when it's their turn. So we're proposing, and we'll take to the BCC for approval, that the vice chair would be a non-voting member on the TDC, so that the following year, not the vice chair for the TDC, but the vice chair for the BCC, who then would be the chair of the TDC the following year, that they be a non-voting member and can attend. And that way, if they do attend, hopefully they do, they will have a whole year of experience of meetings before they take over as chair, and so they're not starting from the beginning. They know exactly where they're coming from. So that'll be on our next BCC, not the next BCC meeting, but the one following, just to update, and then hopefully we'll have Brian Scott attending pretty regularly, and then when he takes over as chair, he'll just step right in like, no hitch in a step. So that's all I have as an update. If there's nothing else, then I would move to adjourn. Thank you all so much. I appreciate all your service. Thank you.